Entry number 6, the 16th of the 3rd, 2025. A few weeks ago, I was on the Isle of Bute. For the past few years, I've been helping my friend run her organisation, which runs affordable, inclusive songwriting retreats. We take a group of songwriters from all different backgrounds. Some are professionals, some are students, others are people who just write in their spare time. And we go to a big, beautiful house in the middle of nowhere in Scotland for a week, and we stay together and learn from each other and write. And it's always a really incredible experience. At the beginning, on the first one that I went to, I felt really overwhelmed emotionally, and I guess just from being someone who doesn't socialise particularly well, I did find it really difficult to stay in a house with like 12 other people, most of whom I'd never met before, and share all of that space and not be able to really go too far because we're in the middle of nowhere. But I did find that the benefits of being in that space completely outweighed the sort of emotional drain that I felt afterwards. This retreat in Bute was a really, really good one. We were in this absolutely stunning place. We were right on the shore, and it was just a big line of beautiful houses and some water, and you opened the bedroom window and you could hear the sea, and it was really beautiful. Throughout the week we have workshops from different songwriters, and on the first day we always hear from someone who is a professional songwriter who has been an artist for a really long time. And this retreat, we had a woman called Rachel Sermani, and her music is really, really stunning. And she talked to us about a lot of different things. But the first thing she asked us at the start of her workshop was, what is your current relationship with your creative process? And sometimes things just happen, right? People ask you a question, or you hear something on TV, or you read something, and it just hits so hard. It goes right to something that you've been struggling with and worrying about. And that question absolutely did that to me. My answer was, I'm terrified it will leave me, but also don't know how to make it grow. Desperate to make it my career, but also want to be pure to the art. Need to be soaking in it, but the frustration and desperation get in the way. So I've been feeling really frustrated with my so-called creative practice for a long time now. And whilst I feel that's something I've definitely always felt, we all feel that at times, that it's going nowhere, that you don't know what the hell you're doing, But because I'm having to deeply think about what my creative practice, my processes are for my PhD, it has really opened up my brain to all these questions of why do I do things the way I do them. And also it's made me realise that I don't have what I think a creative practice is. I don't have a specific workflow for writing songs, for making music, even for being in my DAW, in my music software. There are so many things that I would really like to be on top of. Like, I'd like to have templates. I'd like to have a lot of drum kits already made up. I'd like to have instruments that I've favorited so that I can easily just jump into Ableton and start working. But I get so frustrated and feel like I just want to do the thing, and it's I think that's actually what's holding me back, is that frustration, desperation, urgency. And urgency can be like the most, I don't know what the word is, compelling feeling. I think anyone else with ADHD will have felt that insane level of urgency where it's the thing just has to happen now. Whatever it is, it has to happen right freaking now. It has to. And that can be really intense. It can be something that comes and goes. And it can be positive and negative. I think for me, the last time I did something based on that sort of deep ADHD urgency, well, the last positive thing anyway was applying for my PhD, because I was just like, this is what I'm doing. We're going to figure this out no matter what it is that happens. This is happening. And I pushed and pushed and pushed and made it happen. So after Rachel had asked us this very deep question, she asked us to draw an animal with our eyes closed. And I think it was maybe just to kind of help us shake off a bit of the nerves and the seriousness of the question that she'd asked us at the beginning. So I closed my eyes and I drew a cat. And when I opened my eyes, I had this absolutely mental picture of like the head of a cat with some shapes underneath it, and then what kind of looks like a ditto Pokemon beside it. And I think it's because like I do remember drawing the body and the face and then like moving my hand and not being sure where it was, so like the eyes and the whiskers and the paws are all like just off of the body of the cat, so it kind of looks like a cartoon when their eyes and like everything like pop out. It kind of looks like that, but they're like detached. And before I'd even looked at it properly, my partner saw it and started laughing, and then I started laughing, and then I couldn't even look at it. I had to like cover it up so I would stop. And then she got us to draw an animal with our eyes closed with our left hand, and I drew a cow, and it actually turned out so much better, which is kind of ridiculous. But I was just looking at this cat. You can't even call it a cat. I don't even know what you call that thing that I've created. And I just felt like this should be like my artwork for everything I do now. That should be my logo, because it's how I feel about myself and about my art. Like, just never quite close enough to where I want it to be. And I think those things started to come together for me while Rachel was running this workshop. I started to think a lot about how my sense of urgency and my frustration and desperation with my music making abilities, and how long it takes me to write and record music, because I'm still learning how to produce, how to record, how to make actual music. Everything just takes forever, and I'm so over it. I just want to be at the other side of it all. And that reminded me of a playwriting course that I did last year. At the end, there was a sort of Q&A session with the people who'd run it, and I asked, I guess, a bit of a, I don't know, slightly depressing question, but I explained that when I had done my creative writing degree, which I finished in November of 2019, that was my first master's degree, I was ready to write my novel. I was ready to finish my short stories and like publish things, and I felt so much hope. I felt like it was completely inevitable that I would be that type of writer, and that a few years from then I'd have what I wanted. I'd have a book out, I'd have my first novel published, I'd be writing for money. And then 3 months later, the pandemic happened, and the creative industries, along with a lot of other industries, crumbled completely. And I kind of just gave up, because I just couldn't see how I would be able to move forward in an industry that might not exist anymore. So anyway, when I got to the end of this playwriting course, I asked this woman, I was like, I went to university, then there was a pandemic, and it kind of killed my belief that I would be able to break into this industry. And then when I start looking at other types of writing, like this play that I was doing for this course, and being like, oh, I could totally get this performed, that would be so exciting, that'd be amazing, I'd love to do that. And then this other part of my brain is just like, why bother? Creative work is pointless. The industry is overcrowded. There's no room for you. You're nobody. You just got here. It really stops me from spending the time developing those kinds of ideas. So I said that I just wanted to know, how do I move past that and write anyway? She said she totally understood that feeling and advised me to make sure that I'm not creating from a place of hunger. Make sure that you are soaking in the art that you want to make. And that stuck with me, and it felt like it really tied into what Rachel was saying when she started to talk to us about the cycle of creativity. And this is something I had come across before, but I felt kind of overwhelmed by the idea of thinking about things in this way. But the way she put it is that there is no such thing as writer's block. There's no dry spell or downtime season. There are just different cycles within your life which lead to the different cycles of creativity. So for me, at the moment, I should be wintering. I'm in my second year of my PhD. I am supposed to be learning skills so that I can make all of my own music, building on the ones I already have, like songwriting, singing, performance. I should be reading everything I can and gathering information, talking to people, daydreaming, listening to records, all of that. But I am so keen to fully realize myself as a music artist, singer, songwriter, producer, that I just want to be there already. And I am always looking around at people that I know and feeling like they're doing better than me, that everyone is faster than me, that everyone is so much further ahead, and I'm getting old and there's not enough time for me to complete all the things I want to complete, and I might not be here in a few days, months, weeks, years. You have no idea when that's going to happen, and I just want to make sure that I can make the best art that I can. So then surely I've got to do a course on like keyboard, and I've got to like make loads and loads of demos, and I should spend a week just writing, and I should spend like all this time like on my own. But really, I'm just getting in my own way. If I wasn't so desperate to be where I want to be, I might be there already. I want so much to have a career in music, and a lot of the time I feel like it's too late. Like, I have so much to give, so much to express and to share, and I'm so scared that I won't have enough time to do that. So I realised that I'm fighting my winter hard. But if I don't accept where I'm at, I don't do all that foundational work, spending time with my inspirations, developing myself, I'll never get where I want to be anyway. So here I am, accepting my winter. Maybe right now I feel and look like that crude drawing of a cat I did with my eyes closed. But when my spring comes, maybe I'll be beautiful again. At the end of these songwriting workshops, the tutor will give us a task. Rachel's one was actually very simple. Take a drone and write whatever you hear coming to you over the top of it. I've been trying a lot recently to start with the keyboard so that I'm getting a lot more used to singing with chords, because I am very much someone who writes lyrics and then does music, and it does make it quite difficult sometimes to work like that, especially now when I'm trying really hard to write songs that I can sing, not just things that have really good rhythm. So that's kind of a goal I have at the moment. So I had the drone noise playing for ages and ages and ages, and then I was just getting nothing. But then it stopped. And I noticed how much of a difference there was in the room without it. I could hear the house creaking and the sea outside my window, and it made me think, What happens when the noise in your head stops? When the fear is gone? What do I do when the drone quits wailing? Soaking in silence, my eyelids lit by the glow of a keyboard with a backlight, stripped to my fear and swimming in foresight. Ghosts in the corner and my chest is airtight. I never get to sleep, I got a dream in the daylight. Never gonna get to a place that I can't see. All of this dirt up on my windscreen. Never gonna get. Never gonna get. Never gonna get. Never gonna get. What do I do when the drone quits wailing? Silence doing all the talking. Never gonna get. Never gonna get. Never gonna get. Never gonna get. What do I do when the drone quits wailing? Soaking in silence, reflecting on the violence of self-doubt. So many projects never finished, so many songs I never wrote because I was too busy worrying about life and being broke down into the water, deep up to my neck in it, feeling sick because I can't swim, but I'm not letting that get to me for once. For once I'm giving in, push my own head underwater and I'll let the current win. What do I do when the drone won't sing? What do I do when the drone won't sing? What do I do when the drone won't sing? I push it underwater and I'll let myself begin. Thank you so much for listening. If you want to support me, you can subscribe to the podcast at the link in the show notes. If you want to get in touch, you can find me at Valenstein Music on all socials. Thanks.